Alright, Alpha fam, let's do a quick market update. Before I get started with this, I also want to let everybody know this is not financial advice. Anything that I do say in here is for educational purposes only, and I always recommend everybody to do their own research. I always only explain the things that I am personally doing, and let's get started. So guys, I know things do not look great right now, but I'm here to give you a little bit of hopium that I think people are misreading this market and they're comparing it to the last markets a little too aggressively. And I'm going to show you some things that I'm seeing that happened last cycle that still resulted in Bitcoin making a new all-time high. First thing that we want to talk about today, guys, is obviously we have this close below this 50-day. This is not a good thing. Typically in this cycle, as we've seen every single time prior, we have always found support at the 50 during this cycle and have closed above it. Now let me show you something, because you always hear everybody talking about as soon as we close below the 50, the bull market is over. Well, let's look over here. This was the 2021 cycle. Mid-cycle, we had this big sell-off. I think it was because of Tesla sold their Bitcoin. There was something happened during this period of time. I don't remember exactly, but what do we see? This time was some extreme weakness in the market, and we even had a daily or weekly close underneath the 50. Guess what happened? Bitcoin still made new all-time highs. All right. Now, I am also listening to people as they say, well, when did it make a new all-time high? Well, it did it in November. We did have a pullback that was pretty significant mid-cycle due to the tariffs. But during that, we still never closed below the 50-day. So I'm just showing you an example of a time last cycle where we did close below the 50-day and still made new all-time highs. All right. Now we also have this. This is the 2019 move. So after the 2017 cycle happened, we went into the bear market. You can see what happened right here. We closed below, right here, and then it made that relief rally. All right, so this is one possibility. If we have made a cycle top, this is what we're getting prepared for. The next is this, and Ben Crowley made a pretty good argument about this. This cycle right here, as you can see, we broke below the 50-day for a period of time, but then still, and we didn't make new all-time highs, but we still had this relief rally. And from the bottom with Bitcoin to the top, this still was like a 60 some odd % move. So Bitcoin moves 60%. We know what our altcoins are going to do. They're going to do, probably double that, 1, 2x's. There's going to be pockets of outperformance with certain coins. And this is just to show you that there is still an opportunity, even though this wasn't a bull run. This is something to keep in mind. Now, this is something else that I'm watching. All right. Just looking at things objectively. Bitcoin does look like it's creating a floor right here. And it does look like, at the very least, let's say that this move is done. We're gonna play out a few different scenarios here, but let's say its move is done. I'm expecting us to at least come back up and retest this 50 on the 4-hour, and then I want to see if we reject from it. If we reject from this zone, this is going to be right around that $199,000 to $100,000 zone. This is basically where the 50-day is a little bit above. And if we reject hard from that zone, I will probably be looking to de-risk my bags at this point, because what will probably occur next, if we do not actually make another run, and this is just to give you guys a scenario if we don't, what I think potentially could happen, and I'll show you some other things, is we got this golden cross and death cross, and everybody's talking about this right now. Typically, every time we've done one of these, and let me just remove all the drawings. Every time we've done one of these death crosses, it's always marked a local bottom, either that day or a couple days after. So we can see it, this has occurred here in this zone. You can see that it occurred over here when it did it here. And then typically after those local bottoms are found, Bitcoin will then do a retest of the 200. So with that being said, if this is the case, then the 200 will also come down. And if Bitcoin wants to do a retest of that, it will come up into that zone and then reject. All right. The reason I'm talking about this is going to give you an opportunity for most of your altcoins to do the same thing. They're probably going to go back up, they're going to reject, and they're going to drop. This is your opportunity to get out of bags, even if you're realizing a loss. Don't look at it like that. This is defense mode, guys. And when I started Alpha Syndicate, when I started doing this, all right, back over a year ago, there's always been a time where I've told everybody that nothing in crypto is ever going to be 100% guaranteed. This is a risk asset. What the reason we're here for, but if you're playing the cycle and you're trying to play these ranges, it's going to make a lot of sense for you to sell here, wait for these coins to drop back down, which I think they'll probably come back down into this zone, re-enter those projects at way lower valuation, so you're going to get way more tokens, and now you're in positions at range lows, and now you can weather these up and down moves in the bear market until we get the breakout. All right, and then every time we come back into these demand zones, because we'll create a little range, you'll be able to DCA into those zones. And if you want to swing, we will be able to, after the first time identifying a local high, you will be able to start swing trading these moves. Every time, once you see the rejection, you get out, you buy more tokens at the range bottom, it comes back up, it rejects, rinse and repeat. Or if you want to be hands off, you just put in a DCA and you DCA every time it comes down there, and you just put limit orders. This is also another option. I will personally be trying to get on the relief rally because I understand that these relief rallies can have a lot of FOMO driven behind them, and there's an opportunity to at least double your portfolio from its current size before the move actually is fully finished. Then you re-rotate that capital back in, you do another 2x. Now you shouldn't be so bad down. All right, yeah, we didn't get to make a lot of money yet in this move because even when this started to occur, and we said that, I told people back here, I said Bitcoin hasn't made a cycle top yet, guys. It just hasn't. But even with this move right here in the following expansive, we never got that euphoria stage, guys. Like, there was never any of that stage that we normally get with one of these bull runs. So with that being said, let's take a look at some other things to kind of give you a little bit of hopium. This is Bitcoin dominance, guys. All right. So Bitcoin dominance right now has completed a concession of a breakdown below. Let me get rid of this real quick. So it's broken down below the 50 right here. Bearish retest, bearish retest. Now we get the breakdown. On the weekly, this is what we're looking at. This is a bear flag on Bitcoin dominance, and it's breaking out. So yeah, Bitcoin might be cooked. It very well could be. Bitcoin might have made a cycle top, but that doesn't mean automatically that some of these altcoins that we're in aren't showing signs of life and showing signs of strength. Because typically when Bitcoin goes down, or we have a really bad period of time, usually Bitcoin dominance skyrockets. It doesn't drop. Keep that in the back of your mind. So with that being said, watching things pretty closely right now, guys. This isn't looking real good right here. I'll be honest with you, and it's because of this. I don't know if this is preparing for the morning open for the stock market, but this doesn't really look the best. We had an actual pretty good move from futures last night when they opened up, and we've gotten that move, and it's pretty much retraced most of it at this point. But this is another thing to keep in mind too. The stock market is still well above its 50-day. Even on the NASDAQ, it's like flirting with it. It was above it last night. I have a feeling that the NASDAQ will close above the 50-day. Even if it doesn't matter, because it can stay down here for a day or two as long as it gets right back up there. And this could just be a corrective in the stock market too, guys. That's also affected Bitcoin, because the stock market's corrected now about 6.5, a little over 6.5, 6.64%. So with all that said, everything kind of, taking all of this a step back, I think the one thing that people shouldn't do right now is rush to make a decision. Let things play out, because I've been in this market long enough. We never go down in a straight line. We never go up in a straight line. There is going to be pockets of outperformance where alts are going to get a chance to outperform and get a chance for you to get out of your bags if we are in fact not going to continue this bull run. There's also the compelling story that the 4-year cycle really is not valid anymore. Michael Saylor was on Grant Cardone's podcast the other day talking about this. I made a really compelling argument. Stated that 4-year cycle theory, he doesn't believe in it because it typically used to make a lot of sense because the market cap of Bitcoin was so small. And when Bitcoin first came out, you used to earn a lot of block rewards per block when you mined Bitcoin. So every halving, it removed half of those block rewards. So in the beginning, when the market cap was really little, and they were able to basically mine a bunch of coins really quickly, when that supply shock happened, it had a really, really big impact on price because the market cap was so low back then. Fast forward 3 cycles later, the last halving went from, I think, 7 point something or 7 something Bitcoin per block to 3 something per block. There's $100 billion of volume in the crypto markets a day. There were just $100 billion just the other day. All right. It's absorbing way more than a halving could ever have an impact on this market and this current market. We're also not in the same 2021 market we were before, guys. The NASDAQ and Bitcoin have correlated more than any asset class has. I was just watching a documentary on it yesterday. And not only that, we're also in the stage of adoption where we're going from early investors and adopters to institutions, and they're absorbing. So as long as we have that absorption happening by major institutions and these treasury companies, even though we're going through a corrective, it's really hard for me to say they're just going to let everything roll over. You also have Trump. Trump has said it multiple times. Crypto capital, #1 in crypto. How would it look for him the first year coming in? Crypto goes into a bear market and, Bitcoin's at 60, 70,000. You think he'll ever hear the end of it? Of course not. They're going to say, oh, you told people to buy crypto. Now it's down. People losing money. Don't fade those type of things as well, guys. So you have these different components that you have to consider before just 100% saying, oh, we broke the 50-day. It's over. We're cooked. We're going to zero. All right. Again, gold isn't really behaving in a manner that shows panic in the market. All right. Gold is not displaying that. It looks like it came back up and it did its final top, came back down, did a relief rally, rejected exactly from the zone I said it would reject from, and now is making another move down. What we're waiting for, in fact, is, which we've gotten, is these bearish retests on gold on the 4-hour. Why is that important? Because it shows that the gold trade is unwinding. It's not increasing, it's unwinding. So with that being said, that's not typically you see in a panic situation, in a panic market, guys. You would see gold going nuclear. Nothing is also going to last forever. We are going to have a time where we're going to have to be vigilant about this bull market ending and preparing for the other market, which is the bear. The bear market is, to me, better. It's easier to navigate, and it's where the opportunities are. With that being said, I would love for us to continue this move so everybody is able to get the maximum return that they can, depending on where your portfolio is sitting at right now. Nobody wants to be a bag holder for 3-4 years if we go through one of those extended bear markets again, guys. That's just a fact. And I totally 100, because I know I don't think I can financially afford to let my money sit for another 3 or 4 years. A lot of my money's been sitting for years now. And that's the reason why I've been able to be so profitable this cycle, because I was in so early. So I know it's really hard for a lot of the guys that got in later, because this has kind of hurt you, especially if you came in like last year in Q4 thinking we're going through altcoin season and you've been down 60, 70, 80% on your bags. Don't forget this, guys. Even if your bags are 60% down, 70% down, 80% down now, they can still go down another 60, 70%. So With that being said, guys, I'll be watching this closely. I'll be posting another market update here shortly. Keep your notifications on, and we'll talk soon.